Have you ever stopped to think about how many surprising facts are hidden in the Bible? Without a doubt, the Bible is the most complex and fascinating book humanity has ever seen, full of stories, mysteries, and truths. And today, we're sharing 11 amazing facts about the Holy Scriptures that you may have never heard before. Let's dive in together. Number 1. Where does the name Bible come from, and what does it mean? The name Bible has a very interesting origin. It comes from the ancient city of Byblos, now known as Jabail in modern-day Lebanon. Byblos was renowned for producing papyrus, the material used to make writing scrolls. Over time, the Greek word biblos, meaning books, evolved, and this is how the name Bible came to be. Number 2. The Bible, the first book printed on a large scale. The Bible holds a significant place in the history of printing on paper as we know it today. It was the first book ever printed on a large scale, thanks to Johannes Gutenberg's invention of the movable type printing press in the mid-15th century. The Gutenberg Bible, completed around 1455, revolutionized how knowledge and faith were shared, marking the beginning of a new era in communication. Number 3. The Bible, the best-selling and most translated book of all time. The Bible is not just a book. It is the most sold and translated book in history. It is estimated that over 5 billion copies have been distributed worldwide, making it the best-selling book of all time. Additionally, the Bible has been translated into nearly 3,000 languages, ensuring that its message reaches people from every corner of the world. Number 4. The original Bible had no chapters or verses. The Bible, as we know it today, is divided into chapters and verses, but this was not always the case. The original manuscripts of the Bible were written as continuous texts, without any divisions. It was not until the 13th century that chapters were introduced by Stephen Langton, and verses came later in the 16th century, added by Robert Estienne. These divisions were created to make studying and referencing the Bible easier. Number 5. The Bible was written in 3 original languages. The Bible was originally written in 3 different languages: Hebrew, Aramaic, and Greek. Most of the Old Testament was written in Hebrew, the sacred language of the Israelites. Certain portions, such as parts of Daniel and Ezra, were written in Aramaic, a common language of the Near East. The New Testament was written in Greek, specifically Koine Greek, which was widely spoken during the time of Jesus and the apostles. Number 6. The first translation of the Bible into another language. The first known translation of the Bible into another language was the Septuagint. This translation was made in the 3rd century BC, when the Hebrew scriptures were translated into Greek. The Septuagint was created for Greek-speaking Jews living outside of Israel and also became an essential text for early Christians. This effort marked the beginning of the Bible's global reach, making it accessible to people beyond the Hebrew-speaking community. Number 7. The oldest book in the Bible is not the book of Genesis. Many people assume that Genesis is the oldest book in the Bible since it is the first in order. However, the oldest book is believed to be Job. Scholars suggest that Job was written around 1500 BC, long before Genesis was compiled. Job offers profound reflections on human suffering, faith, and God's sovereignty, making it a timeless piece of wisdom literature. Number 8. The Gospel of Matthew was not the first book written in the New Testament. Although the Gospel of Matthew is placed first in the New Testament, it was not the first book written. The earliest writings are the epistles of Paul, with 1 Thessalonians likely being the very first, written around 50 AD. These letters were written to early Christian communities to address issues of faith and guidance long before the Gospels were compiled. Number 9. Many of Jesus' miracles are not in the Bible. The Gospels record many of Jesus' miracles: raising the dead, healing the sick, walking on water, and feeding thousands in miraculous ways. However, not all of his miracles are documented. In John 20:30 it says, Jesus performed many other signs in the presence of his disciples, which are not recorded in this book. John later adds in John 21:25, that if everything Jesus did were written down, the world would not have enough room for the books. This reminds us of the vastness of his ministry. Number 10. Interbiblical period, 4 centuries of prophetic silence. The interbiblical period, also known as the 400 years of prophetic silence, refers to the time between the Old and New Testaments. This period began after the prophecies of Malachi and ended with the ministry of John the Baptist, who announced the arrival of the Messiah. Although no new scriptures were written during these centuries, this time was marked by significant historical changes, such as the rise and fall of empires, which shaped the world into which Jesus was born. Number 11. Did you know there's a Bible Day? Did you know there's a special day dedicated to the Bible? Bible Day was established in 1549 in Britain by Archbishop Thomas Cranmer. He included this observance in the Book of Common Prayer under King Edward VI. Originally, the date was celebrated on the second Sunday of Advent in December, created to encourage people to pray and reflect on the Scriptures. Today, this tradition continues in many countries around the world as a way to honor the importance of the Holy Bible. For example, in the United States, National Bible Week is observed annually during the week of Thanksgiving, from Sunday to Sunday. Established in 1941 by President Franklin D. Roosevelt, this week-long celebration encourages individuals and families to engage with the Bible through reading, study, and reflection. The Bible is truly a treasure of wisdom, history, and faith that continues to teach and inspire millions of people around the world. These 11 facts are just a small glimpse into its grand and extraordinary story. If you enjoyed this video, share it with someone who loves learning more about the wonders of the Bible. And don't forget to subscribe and hit the notification bell so you won't miss more content like this. Thank you so much for watching all the way through, and may God bless you greatly. See you in the next video.